Okay.
Back in track a lot. It's distance there as well. Very slowly. In fact, almost causing an accident there. Car stopped and turned in. No, in fact, we've got synchronised spinning. Driving there from everyone to make sure that we get through.
Hi everybody, welcome to Oz Pro Am Sim Series Season 3, Round 2. This week we go to Hockenheim, and while it has ruined my Pacific theme a little bit for the first leg, I'm stoked that we're not going to Long Beach, because sending 50, call it 50 GT cars into that fountain section at Round 2 when we don't know what each other drives like was going to be bad. So Hockenheim, it is, and it's got a great track. It's got a lot of space, nice and open. Be careful at the hairpin, but you all did a great job at Honda at Phillip Island last week. So we won't have anything to worry about, will we? And in all honesty, I commend all of you. Thank you last week for the standard of driving. Last week was awesome. Look, we had a few little bust ups here and there, but ultimately the standard of driving was, I think, very high. And you're all to be commended for that. And there's a lot of leagues out there who would absolutely kill to have a standard of driving like that. So really thank you all for being just awesome. Now, a couple of things just to count on this week. So the first thing I wanted to do is we're into our normal format. So we're back in our normal cars, the GT3s, and this is our Sprint 2040 format. So this is 8 of our 12 rounds will be this format. So it will be one that you're well used to by the time we get to the end of the season. Now, the way this format works is we have a 20-minute race, a 5-minute break. So I stuffed that up last week. The 10-minute break is too long. It's a 20-minute race, 5-minute break, a 40-minute race. And the fuel, so the setup is the same setup we did at Laguna Seca. So it's the medium downforce stock setup with our fuel limit. So the fuel is set to start the race. That is your fixed starting fuel load. So that's 18 litres in the Ferrari and 20 litres in the Beamer and the Merc. And the tank is also capped. So they're all slightly different, but all sort of about 40-41% of the fuel tank. So you're going to have to think about your fuel a little bit. Now, the way it will work for people who ask about pit stops, you will need a stop in race 1. That's a given. Okay, you will need a stop in race 1. Race 2, you will need a stop. You will need at least one stop. It might be another one. You'll have to see how your race pans out. Can you save fuel and get through with one, or not? Which faster? Certainly last season, sometimes a one-stop was faster, sometimes a two-stop was faster. It was not obvious, so that is certainly the way it's going to stay this season. Moving on, being just a couple of things that came up from the stewards reports this week that we wanted to touch on. The first one, just for looking honest, being lapped. Now, it's hard when you're stuck in the pack of the fast drivers and they're coming through and that sort of thing, but you've got to just let them go. So I had it myself. I got caught up in that first lap bust up last week and, come out of the pits and got caught in the leading pack. And at the end of the day, you just got to give time away just to let them through, but it's the right thing to do. So just please let the leading cars through. When you're a lap down, your race is already shot anyway. So just let them through and we'll move on to the next race. The other thing, just with the stewards' inquiries, we really wanted to try and get a little bit of a format going. So please race first, race, lap, and the cars involved and the corner it was at. They're mandatory in the ticket. We had a few people who put some pretty basic things in the ticket. So race, lap, corner, and the cars involved. So they're an absolute minimum. But the other thing you've got to do is submit evidence. Now, what we want you to do is submit a video. So take a video with your smartphone, or in all honesty, the best way to do it, Control Alt Shift V is starts recording a video. Control Alt Shift V stops recording a video. So you do that. It's in your iRacing/videos folder. And as long as it's not a long video, they're small enough to upload straight to Discord. Don't need to do anything with them. So that's the best, easiest way to do it, and that's what we'd like you to do. Please don't send us a replay file. We had a couple of people send us RPY files, which by the time you chuck them in iRacing, reload iRacing, and just send us a video. That's the easiest way to do it, please. The other thing that actually came from the stewards' inquiries was lap 1. Please, on lap 1, allow some margin. You can't just yeet it into turn 1 using your same braking markers as you were in qualifying. It's not going to work. There's 50 other GT cars around you, and they're all taking it easy to give space because there's multiple lines when there's so many cars pack racing together. You've got to make sure you look after each other on that first lap and let the field spread out and settle into that rhythm. You cannot win a race at turn 1. How many times have been said? But you can certainly lose it. And we like to say to finish first you must finish. So remember, just take it easy. If you lose a spot or two at turn 1, it doesn't matter. If you're fast, you'll get them back. Now, finally, the last thing we wanted to touch on this week with our drivers briefing was decals. Now, obviously, you've seen the championship points and everything now. It was a bit of an amnesty on decals for the first week simply because, well, it's week 1. It's a car we don't usually use. Thank you for all the people who did put them on. It looked amazing on the broadcast. We looked professional, and that's what we want. But this week, decals are an absolute must. If you haven't got them on your car, please send me a message. I'll do it for you. I've done it for a few guys already. I did it for a few guys last week. Happy to do it for you if you don't know what to do. But they must be on the car this week. I will be going through the replay, and anyone who's not running them won't score points. That's it. So thanks again for watching. Enjoy your race this week at Hockenheim. It's going to be a great race. We had some really fun practicing it. And next week we're at Bathurst. So happy days. Cheers.